Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning. The King of Lightning is here today to do Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 111 review. That is 111111. There's a lot of ones going on here. This week's episode of Hunter x Hunter 2011. Son, it was beautiful. That's not even a rating, but I don't care. It was beautiful. This week's episode was beautiful. Oh my goodness. It was like, the best part was knowing that a lot of the episode took place within the fraction of the 1/10 of a second that it took for P2 to attack Chairman Netero. That's how it was majestic, man. It was awesome. Oh my god. And then when it came to the flashback of Netero's training, that was beautiful. Oh, I was so serene, where he was just doing the prayer, amen, and then he would just punch 10,000 punches of gratitude every day for like 2 years. And the thing about it was that he got to the point where he could do it like under an hour, and his punches were so fast that they broke the sound barrier. They just snapped it. And I'm sitting here watching the training measurement where he's just standing there in the snow. Then the flowers start to bloom. Then it's springtime and we see the bunnies in the tall grass. Then it's autumn, we see the eagles and we see the leaves blowing in the wind. Then it's back to winter again. And it was just the way they presented Netero's training, the way they depicted it was phenomenal. Furthermore, when it came to him doing the actual punch in front of the dojo guys, because he went to this dojo, and how the guy, he starts to cry, and he's like, Lady Guan Yin, because that's his whole thing now. His whole thing is that he has the 1,000 hand goddess, right? Yeah, alright. If you watch Naruto, yeah. People say that, Naruto copied off Hunter x Hunter for good reason, because a lot of shit that occurs in Hunter x Hunter occurs in Naruto. And the 1,000 hand goddess, Hashirama rocks it. But before Hashirama was Netero. And Netero, he just pray, then smack. And when P2 was sent flying by the Nen wave, that was awesome. Because had not P2 had Dr. Blyce out, had she not, maneuvered Dr. Blyce, she was going to get sent flying back a significant distance, to the point where she wasn't going to even be relevant in the fight. Are you serious? How many kilometers on end was Chairman Netero about to blast her if she wasn't even going to be relevant in the fight? She's fast. So it had to be a significant distance to where in which she wouldn't be able to make it in time. Like, that's insane. Like, what the frick? So, yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely phenomenal. Alright? And he brung in Zeno. His boy was Zeno. His boy is one of the top Zoldycks. Zeno Zoldyck. The grandfather of Killua. The father of Silva. Wow. Son. It was really cool. But again, to me, the best part was just knowing that the main thing here is this, alright? The narrator was phenomenal. Okay? Absolutely phenomenal. Because, honestly, just everything was explained in a very elaborate way. And I liked it. Because it was elaborate, but at the same time, it was very easy to understand. Furthermore, the narrator was narrating the internal monologues of each of the characters, or the characters that were relevant in that particular scene. Like, for example, when it came to Killua noticing how Gon, his eyes started to sink, and he started, get that blazed over look, the cold darkness, and I'm like, oh, that is freaks. Then it came to P2, and how P2 realized, shit, it was a bad move. Because this is the main thing. When P2 jumped up in the air to take on the falling spear dragon thingies, alright, the Zeno's move, the dragon dive. That was hot. Because after she had focused all her nen up to the sky, and I believe that her nen has a max range of 2 kilometers, so it focused up to the sky. And the thing here is that when the dragon made contact with her end, she was gonna rush. She was gonna blitz, and then so she disengaged her end to strike, and then it split apart. But she realized that the main issue, the imminent threat, isn't the miniature dragons falling down upon the castle. It's the humans in the actual, in the array of falling dragons. So she blitzes in there. She blitzes up there into the sky. She jumps up pretty much, and Netero's like floating. Like, that's how awesome he is. He's just floating in the air, like, yeah, I'm right here. And then she starts to strike. So she activates her nen. And the main thing that the narrator said here was that when she activates her nen, it takes her about 1/10 or a fraction of a second to actually perform an attack. But Chairman Netero, the entire time, had already performed the hand motions to activate his nen, which has some correlations to the 100-handed goddess, Guan Yin, the Bodhisattva. And he had already done that. That's the main thing. He had already done that. But the thing about this was that P2's perception of time, and this is where the whole, I don't know how to really explain it, but basically it was Zeno, and he was talking to either us, he was talking to someone. It was like he was talking to us, but he was talking to someone about Netero. And how powerful he is, and how old he is, pretty much. Like, apparently, he was a grandpa, he was an old man when Zeno was breastfeeding. And Zeno's an old dude. And we find out that in the flashback sense, the flashback ended off when he was like 50 or like 50 plus. And that was 6 decades. That was over 6 decades ago. So Chairman Netero is easily over 110, probably like 120. So he's a real old dude, and he's a monster. He's a monster, man. And the thing is, it's crazy. It's just out of this world. This thing is that when it came to her perception of what was going on, because her senses, P2's, were so heightened, her perception of time slowed down to the point where time almost time stopped. And here we have Netero performing this majestic array of hand motions. And like you see the afterimages themselves, like, yeah, and he comes in, he prays, he brings the hand down, and then we see like a Nen aura like shoot out there, and it's like a hand, and that's when the hands are like the Guan Yin, Bodhisattva, and then it just does like an air palm cannon, and it fires all the way back, and it was just nasty. It was nasty knowing that this took place within like fractions of a fraction of a second. The majority of the episode is fractions of a fraction of a second. Are you kidding me? That's phenomenal. Awesome. And the narrator did a great job of just relaying information to the viewer. Fantastic job. Oh man, one of my favorite episodes of Hunter x Hunter, period. Bar none. Wow. Love it. God. And there is one negative, my personal opinion. And that was when, after the flashback, they pretty much like redid the whole scene where she gets blasted back. P2. And then they go on from there. So in my opinion, they didn't have to really like redo it, but I guess they wanted to end off with Shoot and Gon and Killua facing off against Yuppie. And of course, Killua was right. He was right automatic because their plan was completely bad. I mean, like the moment Zeno said, fuck it, Dragon Dive, their plan was screwed. The moment he said Dragon Dive, their plan was done. Alright? Their plan was just thrown freaking. So now they need to somehow deal with Yuppie. And we already have Knuckle and the chameleon guy, Melioron. They're already, because he has his ability activated. So he has the thing going on where he can't be sensed, period. So they're probably going to try and blitz past Yuppie. But Yuppie still, but him being there is still like a major throw-off. He's right at the stairs. And I told you that he's right there at the stairs. They're probably going to run into him first. And lo and behold, they ran into him first, obviously. So, like, it was really, really good. I can't get over it. I can't get over the fact that this shit took place fractions of a tenth of a second. That's insane. Fuck. Netero. So, like, now you see the power of Chairman Netero. I mean, we haven't seen like the full power, but the dude's just awesome. Okay, he really is. And Zeno's there too. Zeno Zoldyck is there. Now, Meruem, the king, you know, he's beastly. But you have Zeno Zoldyck, you're like, whew, because he's a tough customer. He's a real tough customer. Alright? So, Chairman Netero came prepared. He came well prepared. His buddy, alright, Zeno over here, like, they're good to go. So, even though the plan that Morel and Killua and Gon had, you know, made for this moment, even though their plan is pretty much like down the drain at this point in time. Well, most of their plan is. Not all of it, but most of it is. The thing here is that they have very strong reinforcements. So, even though their plan is not going, you know, according to plan, they can make do. Because, you know, Grandpappy of Killua's here. The Grandpappy of Killua is here. And Netero's a monster. I just can't believe that. Like, he would have knocked her back so far where she wouldn't be relevant in the fight. Like, what? Oh my god. Wow, Netero. This guy is just a monster. He's a demon. Man, whew, alright. Netero, I'm pumped. I'm like, yeah, because Gon is stoked. Gon's real stoked. He's like, yeah, fuck it, it's time to go. It's time to just go in the darkness right now. It's time to pull in the Sasuke. Like, dive in the darkness, the abyss. It's happening. All right, he's already in the abyss right now. So, Gon is ready to go. Yuppie, I'm sorry, not Yuppie. Actually, no, Yuppie. He's guarding the gate. I mean, he's guarding the stairs, so he's right there. Shao Poof. He's flying. He's hauling ass because right now his main concern is the king, and he is really worried. To the point where he didn't even notice Pitou flying back behind him. So right now she's falling down. And she can't fly, obviously. So she has to touch the ground first before she can do anything. And she just really wants to fall down, reach the ground, so she can haul ass back to the king. Because right now, the king right now is in immediate danger. Their plan's fucked up. Because she fucked up. And because she fucked up, the king is now quote-unquote vulnerable. Now, granted, he did say, if anyone comes, I'll handle it. Now, again, we have, you know, Netero and Zeno. I don't know how well he can handle. How well can the king handle against Zeno and Netero? We'll see. But the fault does lie with Pitou. And even because they had this whole thing where we had Zeno explaining, again, when he was talking to us or talking to someone, the way it was depicted, which is also it was fascinating. I can't say if it was good or not, because I did feel like it was like awkwardly placed in the episode, but it was very fascinating to have Zeno talk to the viewer and us and at the same time talk to someone else. Maybe Silva. We don't know. But here's the thing. The way it is that despite the structure being awkward in that moment, it is very important to note that he explained this whole like hearing or listening to the spirit concept, where like in a certain near-death experiences, one can hear the mind or listen to the mind of another person or of an opponent, something like that, which is a very interesting concept. But the concept does apply to when P2, when she was in midair, and there's that one scene where we have Chairman Netero. He is pretty much saying that what you just did was a bad move, and Netero himself wasn't talking. He wasn't, verbally talking, because this was taking within fractions of a second, like fractions upon fractions of seconds. But she heard what he was saying in his own mind. So it's that concept that Zeno was talking about hearing the spirit or hearing the soul, something along those lines. And that was also very, very nice. Very nice. So, I dig it, man. I dig it heavy. Like that one kanji appeared like bad move. And then she's like, fuck, no. Because she realized how vulnerable she left the king and, the others down in the palace. So it was really good. So the overall rating for this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter. The animation was phenomenal. I mean, the dragon itself looked phenomenal. The control of P2's N was awesome. Her eyes, when she started to when she started to really use her senses to try and find the humans amongst the reigning dragons. When it came to Netero just hovering, levitating, and the whole motions of the hand, the flashback was serene. It was beautiful. Everything was very well animated. It was phenomenal animation. When it came to the pacing, it was well paced, with the exception of two things. My personal opinion, number one, the whole thing with Zeno. I liked it. I did. When he was talking to us, the viewers, and someone else. But I felt like it was awkwardly placed. At the same time, when it came to the repeated scenes of the whole motion of the, because once you get blasted back, they cut the episode, then they go into flashback of Netero. Then once the flashback is over, of him punching faster than the speed of sound, they go back and they repeat the same scene, in which he does the same motions and the prayer, and then he brings the hand forward, then the hand comes out of the hand, then the smack. So that, to me, they didn't have to repeat it, but I guess they wanted to end it off with Gon and the others facing off against Yuppie. But there was story progression. I can't say that there was much of, but they are now in the palace. That's for sure. They have now entered the palace, at least Gon and the others, and they're being bombarded by air dragons from above by Zeno. So that's also, I guess, there is story progression, but not a lot. But despite that, the character development of Chairman Netero, phenomenal. I thought it was really, really good. Really good. Like, wow. And Zeno gets some too, he really does. It's mainly Zeno, it's mainly Zeno and Netero. Mainly Netero. And then P2 gets a little bit here. She does get a little bit. But overall, the episode rating, honestly, despite the negatives, I'm going to give it the highest rating. I think it's a episode of Hunter x Hunter. The narration, to me, that just really got me. That and the whole fractions of a second, that really hit home. So the episode rating overall, I'm going to be, fuck it, why not? And plus, it's Togashi. Yeah, I can be biased. It's a And I will see you guys later. Be sure to, of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. I need to download this at like 1080p. Seriously. Peace. Have a nice. Well, can I pay for it? No. No. I'm too cheap. Have a nice day. But if you can, then go ahead. All right. Let me not stop you. If you can, if you want to, give some dough to Togashi and the animators of this series, then by all means, go ahead. Go ahead, have at it. Me, a little bit different, but whatever. Okay, now, have a nice day. I can't wait. The next episode is going to be hot. It's going to be hot as shit. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm stoked. I'm pumped. Netero, he got me psyched. The whole thing has me psyched. I'll see you guys later. Shit. Have a nice day.